So, good day everyone. I am Tagalogon, and today I will be discussing the laws regulating transportation establishment. So, transportation plays a critical role in our daily lives and in the tourism industry. So, the safety and efficient of transportation services are heavily influenced by legal regulations, which aim to protect both passengers and businesses. So, this presentation will provide insights into this law and their importance. So, next slide, please. So, the learning objectives. So, before we dive into the discussion, so let us first outline our objectives for today's presentations. First is to identify the laws affecting the transportation sector. Next is identify the rights of passengers of commercial transportations. Next is explain the relevance of these laws to the promotion of tourism in the country. So by understanding these laws, so we can ensure that transportation establishment operate legally, efficiently, and safely. So next slide please. So introduction to transportation laws. So transportation has been an essential part of human civilization, enabling travel and economic growth. So in the tourism industry, so transportation services connect travelers to destination, making safety and efficient a top priority. So however, so the transportation involves risk such as accidents and service failures. So to mitigate this risk, laws have been enacted to regulate transportation businesses, set safety standards, and protect passengers' rights. So next slide please. The case study, MV Don Juan tragedy. So a tragic example of transportation negligence occurred in October 1980 when MV Don Juan, a passenger ship, sank while traveling from Manila to Bacolod. So the ship was overloaded beyond the capacity and the safety protocols were ignored. Due to this negligence, hundreds of passengers lost their lives. The Supreme Court ruled that the shipping company and its staff were guilty of gross negligence. So this case raises important questions. So magapangutan na tanong nga kuan ng why is it important for shipping companies to observe capacity limits? Next is what penalties exist for violating safety regulations. So next is what government agency regulate the seaworthiness of marine vessels. So next slide please. Law on common carriers. The transportation industry is governed by specific laws to ensure accountability. So one of the most important in the law on common carriers found in Article 1732 of the Civil Code. So a common carrier is defined as any individual, corporation, or firm engaged in the business or transportation passengers or goods for compensations. So these carriers are legally required to practice extraordinary diligence in ensuring safety. So next slide please. Responsibilities of common carriers. So common carriers have significant responsibilities. So including this they ensuring the passenger safety from the moment they board until they reach their destinations. Next is, so they are responsible for being held liable or for accidents unless they can prove they exercise extraordinary diligence. Next is not being allowed to limit their liability through contracts or disclaimers. So this means that if even if passengers sign agreements, transportation companies cannot escape responsibility if an accident occurs due to the negligence. So next slide please. Regulation of the transportation industry. So the government enforces regulations through different agencies depending on the type of transportations. So we have here the kind of transportation. First is the land transportation. So the Land Transportation Office or LTO manages vehicle registration and licensing. So the Transportations Franchising and Regulatory Board or the LTFRB is they are responsible for they regulates public transport franchises for the air transportation. So the Civil Aeronautics Board or the CAB or supervises air carriers and ensures passenger rights. Next is for the maritime transportation. So the Maritime Industry Authority or the Marina, so they ensures that the seaworthiness of vessels and regulates maritime safety. So these agencies they play a crucial role in maintaining order and safety in transportation service. So next slide please. So passengers rights and carrier liability. So as passengers, so we have legal rights to protect us from unsafe transportation practices. So the right to safe and secure travel. So the transportation provides must ensure that their service are risk-free. Next is the right to compensation for damages. So if a carrier is negligent and an accidental occurs, so they must provide financial compensation. Next is the right to legal action. So the passengers can file claims against carriers that fail to meet their responsibilities. So understanding these rights help ensure that transportation provides remain accountable for passenger safety. So next slide please. The seatbelt law and transportation safety regulation. So the government has also implemented specific laws, including first is the Seatbelt Use of Act 1999. So this law mandates that drivers and front seat passengers wear seatbelts at all times. So it also prohibits children under 6 from sitting in the front seat. Next is from the Shipping, Air and Land Transportation Safety Regulations. So this ensure that vehicles, ships and airplanes comply with maintenance, inspection and operational standards. So following these safety laws reduces accidents and ensured as safer travel experience for everyone. Next slide, please. For the conclusion, so in conclusion, transportation laws are vital for protecting both passengers and businesses. So they establish safety standards that help prevent accidents and negligence. So they ensure passengers' rights by holding transportation providers accountable. So they promote trust and reliability, which are essential for thriving tourist industry. So as a travelers, professionals, or business owners, so understanding these laws help us make informed decision and contribute to a safer and more efficient transportation system. So um, that's all, and gracias a todos.